Hello, everyone. I am broadcasting from Super Grey, London. Sitting in my bed right now because this is where I can get the best light to do this Facebook video. So today what I really wanted to talk to you about was not only relieving stress, but nurturing our connection to our higher selves through prayer. And how in nurturing that connection, not only to our higher selves, we can also connect to our guides, connect to support, and really be able to start to trust something outside of just our own intellects. Right now I'm in a period of a lot of uncertainty. I am moved here in London. I'm going to go spend some time in France, but there are these different parts of my mind that want control. I want to know exactly with certainty what's going to happen. Where am I going to live? What is my life going to look like? All of these different things. And when I plug into that mind chatter, everything in me starts to contract and I start to suffer from anxiety and stress, and then getting into this pattern of really trying to figure everything out. And as we all know, our minds and our intellects have so much information, but are extraordinarily limited. And when and I've even noticed with my clients, when we get into these patterns of trying to figure things out, not only do we cut ourselves off from our spirit, but from our own intuition, and even from that ability to trust the world, trust anything that's outside of our minds. So I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and we were talking about what it was like to be in these places of such uncertainty. And I was reminded all of a sudden that I really needed to start to pray more. And when we connect with the idea of prayer is is in a sense of like talking to God, talking to the universe, talking to our higher selves, and getting clear on what it is that we also need for support. Often when we're in these patterns of trying to figure things out and trying to strategize, we cut ourselves out from asking or needing or connecting to different forms of support, even from our community members, from each other, and especially from our guides and guidance. The beautiful thing about prayer is that you can do it in any way that feels right to you. But the most important thing that matters is your intention and how you can, and in that, for me, when I pray, it really helps to drop me into my heart space. It helps to get me out of my head and drop me back into my heart and really plug myself into something greater than myself. It's not always easy to turn over the controls. And when we try and wrangle all of it, what happens is that we can really get in these patterns of fight, flight, freeze, figure it out. And what I've really experienced in my own life and with my own connection to my guidance, my guides, is that whatever solution my mind comes up with is usually not as good as what happens when I allow myself to turn over those places of trust and ask for prayer. One of my favorite examples of this, I have a million of them, but was when I was backpacking in Chile, and I accidentally left my backpack with my passport and thousands of dollars. It was like all of my travel cash on a bus that I was taking from one city in Santiago down to this tiny surf town of Pichilemu. And I get off the bus, I don't speak a word of Spanish, and I realized that I had left my backpack, and there was part of me that was like, shit. And my mind started to completely beat myself up. And my intellect, which said, you know what, that's over, that's done. There's no way that you're ever going to get your backpack back. And so I started to walk, and then I decided that I needed to start to pray. And I started to pray and started to ask my guides and my angels, and I was like, I need help. And it was not only an intention, but a real invitation for support. That is also another hallmark of prayer, is where we really allow and are actually asking to receive support from outside of ourselves. So I started to pray because I needed my passport to get out of the country. I needed the money, whatever, but travel 101 needed my passport. So everything that was important to me was in this backpack and this bus that drove away. But I go running after the bus, and of course the bus is gone, and so I just start to pray. And I ask my guides and I ask my angels, and I say, I need help. Help me. And of course I get on the phone, text my mom, text Sabrina, text the whole family. I'm like, I need help praying. And I started to walk down this street. My intuition just said, just start going. Go. And my intellect said, go to the hostel, get the hostel keeper who can call the bus company and we'll be able to recover your backpack. And so I started walking and I started praying. And all of a sudden I hail this cab. This cab pulls over. Turns out that the person in the cab was a English-speaking priest, which was very rare in this part of the country. And not only was he able to help me recover my backpack, drove me to the bus station, got my backpack back, picked up my backpack, and then told me on the way to the hostel as he was driving me that the cab driver, because it's sort of like an Uber pool down in Chile where multiple people can get into a cab. He said that usually the driver only likes one person in his cab at a time, but his own intuition told him to stop. And so that was the power for me of prayer. It's one of the many examples of how when I had that heartfelt intention, asked for help, and a solution appeared that I could have never imagined in my wildest dreams. So when we pray and when we connect to our higher selves, we really start to connect to our guides. And prayer allows us to put us into a listening state. It allows us to also turn over the controls. So much of our stress, and I mean, there's a lot of different stress, but so much of our stress comes sometimes from feeling like we don't have a lot of help. And as empaths and as sensitives and as intuitives, we are usually the ones who are the helpers. And as helpers, the most important thing we need to do is also ask for help. And when we ask for help, and when we ask and turn over the controls and stop trying to have to figure it out, support and guidance comes up. In terms of tuning into our intuition, our intuition is an act of listening to the subtle vibrations, listening to what comes in, and how. And in that listening, we need to put our mind into a state of receptivity and being able to actually even hear what the vibrations are that are coming in. So in terms of starting a practice of prayer, what are your heartfelt intentions? What are the things that you genuinely need help with? And turning over the controls so that you can allow yourself to be supported. My Nana always said to us, don't pray if you don't have faith. And that's the other part, is really starting to practice having faith outside of ourselves. And even if you struggle with this, you can even just start with your heartfelt prayer of just asking to have more faith, to be able to trust. And also, moreover, then pay attention. Notice all of the different signs that show up. Notice all of the ways in which you are being supported, and note them. Our intellect, as I'll tell you all the time, really likes to dismiss all the ways in which we do get support, in which we are getting guided, in which we are connecting to our heart space. So when we pay attention to the vibration, it helps to anchor it in and helps to train our minds to trust. So today, this week, I really want to encourage you to pray. And using that prayer as a way to connect to something bigger than yourself in order to ask for guidance and help and allow for that support to show up. Now, we really need to be more aware of being in that listening state. And as we connect back to that heart space and open up, we'll see not only how incredibly divinely supported we are, but how much it relieves our stress and helps to nurture our connection back to our true selves. And also gets us back in touch with what our needs are and where we really do need support and help, and where, maybe we're doing a really fabulous job. So that's just my thought for today. I hope that you're having a beautiful day. And I'm sending you all my love from Gray, London, in my little bed. And I will talk to you guys soon. Let me know what you think in the notes and the little comments. Bye.